Hey, it's Patrick from JP Cycles, and let's talk about some suspension upgrades we're doing to our 2020 Sportster. Specifically, these Legends Revo-A's. The great thing about Legends are they're made in the United States and they carry a lifetime warranty. And Sportsters are great handling bikes, so it's a natural progression to do even a better suspension upgrade to really dial these things in. There's so much you can do with suspension in the form of aesthetics and really get real world functionality out of that. In our case, we actually went up an inch here with this shock. But in doing so, we gave ourselves a little bit more lean angle, still kept a really clean look. The Revo-A actually has an extended length coil on this. And when you compare that to a stock length coil, even on the same length shock, you're gonna see it's much longer. And what that does is it gives you a bigger sweet spot in your ride. And so if you're adding weight to it, a passenger or luggage or something like that, that means there's less preload inputs you have to do to this to get it to ride the way you want. If you have to do a preload input, it's really simple. You can grab a hold of this coil right here, no tools needed, and you can spin this around to get your preload set just how you want it. As I mentioned, I'm gonna say it again because it's so important, these are made in the United States, carry a lifetime warranty right in Sturgis, South Dakota. We'll go over the install in a second, but I wanna talk about another feature of the shock. Once you get your preload set, dial that in. Like I said, you're probably not gonna have to mess with that too awful much once you get it set where you want, but it's really important to set the sag on your bike. And I'll link you to a video in the description on how to set the sag, but you wanna get that sag set right because it'll put that shock right in that range you want it to operate in. Once you have that set, you can go down here and you can fine tune this right here with the Rebound Adjustment down here. You have 6 options and that's gonna determine how stiff or soft you want that to ride. I tend to like things a little bit on the stiff side and really set that bike into a corner if you want a little bit more of a plush ride or even a stiffer yet ride. Really simple, you just grab a hold of that, click it, and put it where you want. Install on a Sportster, as far as suspension goes, the rear suspension, really, really simple. If you want a more detailed installation video, I'll link you to that, but I'll go ahead and walk you through some of the finer points right here as it relates to Legends. A couple of things to note. You're gonna use the stock bolts, but that's it. You're not gonna use any of the washers. These actually have spherical bearings in them, which allows that shock to not bind up and kind of twist and move on there by itself. And if you use the big flat washers that come with the hardware on the bike, you're gonna bind those spherical bearings up. So you wanna use the small washer that comes with the Legend suspension, and you wanna use the spacer that goes on the inside. Really easy to do. The other big thing is there's a circlip in the bottom of the shock on one side. You want the circlip pointing out. So as long as that circlip's pointing out, you got your adjuster down here, and you use the right spacers and washers, install is gonna be a snap. Torque specs on this, anywhere from 21 to 35 foot-pounds on the top, and from 30 to 50 foot-pounds on the bottom. It's always a good idea to use a little bit of thread locker on there. It's a good, safe thing to use on a Harley. You're gonna need a T50 Torx and a 3/4 inch wrench. Also, make sure you have something to block the bike up with. You can use wood, you can use a nice flat jack like we have here. If you got a friend that's willing to hold it up long enough, you can use a friend to hold it up, but you're gonna need something, because if you don't get the weight off this bike, when you go to pull them shocks off there, they're gonna have tension on them and they're not gonna come off very easy. They come off real easy if you get them blocked up nice, and obviously if you take them all the way off, the thing will slam down on you and have a hard time getting it back up in the air. But money spent, suspension is one of my favorite things to do to a motorcycle. You won't be disappointed if you upgrade suspension on your Sporty, especially with something like these Revo-A's. Sweet riding shock and very adjustable. Just another note, you can get these in the clear anodized, which is a silver, in gold, and of course we went with black on our iron here. Just fits it very, very nice. As always, have any questions, feel free to drop us a comment. Go work on those motorcycles.